Winaka. I'm PENI VUIDREKETI, as all my the family know me by. But my artist or stage name in the world of art, I'm known as Wanga VUIDREKETI, and usually I sign off my work as Wanga VUIDREKETI. I am originally from Lomini Kororel, and as a visual artist, I am based now here in the village of Lomini Kororel. Before the closure, before the pandemic hit, I was mainly working with acrylic and oils. For me, I was traveling to two worlds. One is the outside world, overseas markets and exhibiting regionally overseas and also in international, and also the markets here locally. When the pandemic came, it really hit really hard in a way that galleries start to close, and locally the expat markets begin to slow down, and also the buying power start to stop because of the pandemic. We didn't see this coming. For me, in my career as a visual artist, it was a reset to ask myself like who I am really, and finding yourself through this in the arts. It has made that confidence, it's built that confidence in me. The paints was always there, available. But when the pandemic hit, you know, the shops closed. The material was very hard to get, and let alone the price, the expensive part of it. But you know, I tried, okay, what can I do? And that is when I started to go out, going to the tete, going to the little bushes, going to fishing and going to all these places. And that is when I see all these trees, and it was somehow, it was telling me like, I am here, I am here. So and that is when it answered my question, this is who I am. And then it has forced me to reach out and look for other ways or other materials to paint with, to use it as a medium. And so I thought about doing some research, some Talano sessions with some village elders, and start to hear stories about the way of the old, of how they used to make their traditional crafts. And that is when I found out about the makandre, or the tree resins, and the nranindongo, or the mangrove sap, and the beeswax, which was naturally provided or done by the farmers here locally. And I gathered these raw materials, and I started to cook them in my makeshift studio there at home. I don't use any paintbrush, but I use a palette knife, and with a fire or with a heat, I start to make or create the image or the result, the final result with. So just brushing over, I was just working over. Most times with this flame, the heat, the design or the motifs or the pattern it gives out is very organic. The makandre is, the properties of this raw material is very amazing. It's magic for me, it's just magic. And then I saw that because of this closure, I was being isolated, and as an artist, being isolated is normal, but I've been isolated and been reduced to a different, in a different, very different way, and thought my mind started to travel outside. Even though I was spaced out, I started to wonder like, what else? And that is when I gathered the stories of the old and started to recreate what was used in the cultural form of traditional craft and make it into a contemporary piece. And which was very exciting, and it was very interesting for me to learn also at the same time. So experimenting for Wanga VUIDREKETI is always something that I find amazing. I bury myself in it. Most time I get lost in it as well, yes. The mangrove sap, and we know that culturally it is a ink that is used, or paint that is used for masi. And it is very iconic in our cultural way of living, because it tells a lot of story from the cradle to the grave. And I thought to borrow that, and it has a rich story, so why not? And I thought of the makandre, because when they were building canoes back in the days, they were using makandre to varnish or to protect the boats or the vesi tree from the hard-hitting waters. and to protect also the kurovakaviti or the Fijian clay pots, to varnish it, to give it that finishing, and it protects this material of the clay pot. With those properties, I try, why not? But with a different medium of working on canvas, why not I use it on artwork as a paint? So with that, it becomes a contemporary piece, not only for a cultural item, but for a canvas painting or for mainly boards, MDF boards. And I said, okay, I will borrow these stories and I will work on these boards, a new medium, and combining these two different worlds, it has become a contemporary piece. And then once I tap into that, it took me to another level. And with this, I've been overwhelmed with people coming in. I used to go to the market. Now the buyers and the art patrons are coming to my doorstep here in the village. With the setbacks of life and what it brings with you, you always have a positive mental mind and an attitude, and with that you will surely go a long way.